Hello everyone, here we're going to talk about in the 5 fundamentals of foosball, the 5th and final fundamental, and that is execute or execution. So a quick reminder, 5 fundamentals are: you got to get control, you got to set up, you got to read the defense, decide, and then execute. Same thing on the 3 bar: get control, set up, read, decide, execute. So execute is really about a couple of different things. First thing, it's about being able to execute under pressure. A lot of people on tour, pretty much everyone, has pretty much the same set of skills. There are a few players like Billy Pappas or Tony Spreedeman that have like amazing, outstanding skills that everyone just sees and goes, wow, but everyone else pretty much has the same level of skill ability. I'm probably on the lower aspect of that, but anyways, and then you gotta kind of think, well, what's the difference between all these people, and why are, some people winning most of the tournaments and all these other people not winning if everyone has the same level of execution ability? For me, it comes down to 2 things. One obviously is strategy, and that's what this whole kind of 5 fundamentals have been talking about, is being able to, when do people execute, that they're doing it for good reasons and they're not giving away holes or shots or passes, they're not being obvious. And the other is being able to execute under pressure and being able to execute with confidence under pressure. So that kind of led me to kind of come up with a couple different practice routines to be able to execute better under pressure. So everyone, when they practice, I've seen a lot of people, they'll just kind of bring it over and they'll toss it over and bring it over, toss it over if they're practicing a brush pass. If you're doing a stick, you might just do a couple of tic-tacs and then do the pass. Now that's not helping you understand how to execute under pressure. It might build some muscle memory, but if you just build it over, the muscle memory, if you just bring it over, the muscle memory you're learning is just bringing it over and passing. And that's not going to be very effective in a game against the same player who gets used to that kind of timing. So you actually have to get used to dribbling the ball, used to reading, and this helps you practice it. So at least you get used to that repetition, that cycling. But I wanted to add one little thing to that, and that's being able to practice with pressure. Now, practicing by yourself, it's not it's kind of tough to build pressure. So you kind of have to challenge yourself. You have to find ways to put yourself under pressure so that you can kind of have it so that your practice sessions count for something. Some people have heard they cost themselves money if they drop so many passes or whatever. Other people, they kind of they keep scores kind of thing. What I do, I like to actually practice within, make myself do 10 passes in a row. Say if I'm practicing my 5 bar, I have to be able to do 10 passes in a row of all my options. And when I say 10 passes in a row, like if I'm on pass number 4 and I drop the pass, well, now I'm having to start over all over again. So say for example, if I'm working on a brush series and I want to work on this option, bounce up. Okay, there's 1. 2. 3. 4, and so on, all the way up to 10. Now, what that will do, it'll help you, one, it will give you the muscle memory of being able to do things in a repetitious fashion, so you're doing the pass again and again and again. The thing it'll do, once you get down to 6 or 7 or 8, now it's 8, you're on the 8th one, you want to make that 9th pass. So now it kind of adds some extra pressure. Right there, I would have actually had to say, no, I lost it, so now I need to start over. So it adds some pressure, that 9th and 8th and 10th one, it adds some pressure to your pass where you really need to start to focus. You're not just, being relaxed and goofing around, practicing whatever, taking it easy. You have some pressure put on you, and it's self-imposed pressure, but it's still a good pressure that you want to be able to finish that 10. Or, if you want to start off with 5 or whatever, that's fine. But some number that you start to get a little bit of pressure applied to yourself. And you want to do that for every one of your core passes. I wouldn't say do that with every one of your passes, but if you have 4 core passes, like in this little brush series that I do, there's basically, you know, 4 core passes and 2 ups, 2 downs. And so there's 1 up. I would have to start over there. And it's also very, very important when you're doing this type of thing to not always do it at the same cycle, the same count. So you don't just go 1, 2. It's very important that you mix in, and you gotta be realistic with yourself. And you gotta pressure yourself. Gotta mix in kind of some fakes, some tosses, so you get used to that. Like you're building the pressure. It's not just simple passes. So that's on 3 now still. Kind of thing all the way up to 10. So if now I'm on 8. He really teaches you to be disciplined with where that ball is. That probably wasn't a very good pass. I don't know if I'd count myself to say that wasn't 8, but I'd probably make myself do that one again. I wouldn't start all over from scratch again, but you telegraph these passes pretty bad. But anyways, I think you get the idea. If you're going to do a tic-tac, the same kind of thing that can be done with this is actually to practice with that 10, but always making sure that you pass at a different timing. Brush passing is a little bit tougher. You know, there's only a few distinct, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times that you can actually pass the ball. If you're bouncing off the wall, it is. There, I would have lost that and I had to start recounting all over again. But if you're doing a tic-tac, then I would kind of like, if I know I need to do 10, and it's going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now I've done 10, now I can do 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And down to 8. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I would have lost it there. Would have to start counting over again. So what this does is like I mentioned, it really gives you a good way to repeat your passes. But it also, while you're working through all of your passes, it also lets you know which ones you need to work on more than others. Because if you're going to start to do this, you say if you have this pass within your series, like a bump up kind of thing. If you're really struggling getting the 10 in a row or 5 in a row, what it is, maybe it's time to practice on that pass a lot more than the others. And doing this routine will actually force you to practice it more, because if you're starting to having to repeat, to get the 10 in a row or 5 in a row, then it's going to at least it's got built-in forced repetition of the weaker passes or weaker shots. But plus it might also let you know, well, maybe that pass shouldn't be part of your series if it's really that much weaker than all of the rest. And this is what kind of something that I stumbled upon, that bump up pass was, for me anyways, just wasn't consistent. I get it sometimes, especially under pressure, just a little bump there. I can do it sometimes, but just trying to do 10 in a row compared to my other passes, it just wasn't worth it. I can hit it now because I'm not, again, under pressure, but so that's one thing that really helps there, is being able to practice with pressure. What other people do as well is they'll have the ball back here, and they'll have to work it up the table. So they'll keep score. Okay, 0-0. Now I need to work it up the table and execute one option from my 2 to my 5, and then my 5 to my 3, and 3 to the net. Then I score a point. If I mess up at any time in there, my opponent gets a point. So I kind of work it up. Work on different options. Don't always do the same one. So there I made my pass, set up, made my pass, set up. You can make yourself actually have to hit different holes on the 3 bar. Let's try a push fake push. So I would get 1 point there. And say if next time it's going along, whoops, right there. See, I would have actually had to give my opponent a point. And you play it, and you play up to 5. So you're putting some pressure on yourself. You want to make sure that you can at least win. And you work it all the way up at the table, doing different options, making sure you're mixing in a lot of different options, not going for your best pass all of the time, because sometimes your opponent's not giving you your best pass when it matters. That's one way to kind of work on, like, in any other way that you could find to put yourself under pressure within a timed fashion as well. Because sometimes you're under pressure and you're under the clock as well. There's the pressure of the match, but you're also